Okay, guys. Hi, it's your girl Destiny. So, unfortunately, there's more times than I can count on both hands. The amount of times where there have been situations, instances of cosplayer photographers specifically being creepy, disgusting, dangerous, and it's quite the problem. So, today I wanted to talk about that and specifically a certain individual, and we'll go over their actions. And ultimately, the point I just want to make is pointing out this behavior, why it's wrong, how unhinged it is, and basically how this person blames their clients for his malpractice with his business. It's just insane. So grab your popcorn and get ready to observe some crazy, unhinged behavior. Oh, yes, I'm sure all of you, if not many of you, know who I am speaking of. Andrew Gosson. Oh boy, do you have a rap sheet, my guy. Don't worry, we're gonna go over it. I have receipts. So sit tight and let's learn about why one should be cautious when interacting with this specific photographer. Now, this can carry over to many different situations. So, what we're gonna go over here, we're going to point out some malpractices, especially from a business standpoint and from a, you know, common sense human standpoint. And maybe hopefully you'll learn some cautions to throw into the wind next time you're setting up a cosplay photo shoot with a photographer you may or may not know. Okay, so let's just address the malpractice issue I have with this photographer. So, before conducting business, you kind of set up a contract with your clients. That's kind of standard. Sometimes, these kind of things they're not as professional, but it's good to have this talk before you conduct business or have a business interaction, just so you know what the expectations are for both parties, what you want from it, what permissions you have, especially in regards to fees, payments, edits, and posting. Right? Like, because a lot of photographers, they take pride in their work. It's a skill. They don't want their clients editing the photos and posting it up and be like, hey, this photographer did this, because that's not their true work, right? I've had photographers ask me, please don't edit my photos. I'm like, yes, absolutely, fair. And some don't care. Fees, obviously, sometimes there's non-refundable deposits. Sometimes you can pay on the day of or after the shoot when you receive the photos. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of people like to do that differently, but that's something you need to hash out at the beginning so expectations are known. Okay, and then especially posting. So there's a lot of different situations that people want their photos for. So sometimes it's just for hobby purposes, or some people like to be more private, or maybe the content might be a little bit more sensitive. Or it might be paid content. So, there's a lot of things you got to set up at the beginning with that in regards to that. So, with our friend Gosson Photography in particular, I'm going to read over some screenshots and they're beyond concerning. So, so here's the chat. So, it looks like he's sending this person their photos and they thank him. And so he follows up with, I'd like to post this today myself. May I add you as a collaborator? And this cosplayer is, as you can kind of tell by the way they're writing and the emojis they're using, they're a little like, oh, actually, I'm kind of shy. That's not really what I want. Like, I don't want these posted publicly kind of thing, And granted, this person was a minor at the time of this, so this makes his next response to this person telling him he doesn't have permission to post their photos very, very unhinged. So yeah, he clarifies, is that to say you don't want this posted, period? And they're like, yeah, with the cute little bulgy eyes emoji. Oh boy, in this next paragraph, this is the most unhinged fucking thing to say to a person, let alone a minor. Okay, let's just get into it. Do you know that this one image was the culmination of 4 to 5 hours of editing in total? I reconstructed your bow tie and left collar because it was folded in on itself. I'm badly behind on a number of shoots from last year and Calgary Expo, but if you but I threw myself at this because you seem genuinely excited to see the end result. Okay, so right off the bat, you're supposed to do your sets in order as per like what you've promised people. Like already, like that's already like that's one thing. Malpractice, like I said, like you have stuff from last year. You said last year you still haven't gotten to back to people. Now, granted, like I said, like some people are a little bit more lax. Maybe there's an agreement they don't need them right away, so you kind of prioritize your paid customers. But to insinuate that he's taking a genuine focus on this person just because they were excited. That's gaslighting, by the way. That's trying or sorry, that's manipulative, by the way. Emotional manipulation, being like, "Oh, but you were so excited. I thought I would focus on them for you." You know what I mean? Like that's creepy. I'm just going to go and yeah, I'm just going to go and call it for what it is, okay? Anyway, continuing. A cursory look of my profile would make clear I post almost everything I work on. Had you told me at the start you did not want this posted, I wouldn't have even started. I find this unacceptable. I won't tag you, but I refuse to throw this effort away. I will not be taking screenshots of this I will now be taking screenshots of this combo so I can protect myself. Buddy, no. A lot of people, I don't, and like I mentioned at the very beginning, you establish permissions and consent and what each party wants from this photo shoot and what, you as the photographer, you do not have the right to post something that someone doesn't give you consent to post. Especially, this person is a minor. And that's very wise of this person to not want their content on the internet. Like, a lot of people prey on minors, unfortunately, and not just in a sexual tone, but this is preying, this is predatory to a minor, not in a sexual way, but in a controlling, belittling way. So proceeding to get angry at the client for not wanting their photos put on his public profile is disgusting. That's unhinged. To emotionally berate this person, gaslight them, and try to throw out, well, I put in all this work, I have the right to post your content. Like, that is the most sick, foul, vile thing I have ever heard or seen in all my time doing cosplay. I also find it ironic how he says he's screenshotting this conversation to protect himself. This is like classic Emma the asshole posts on Reddit where someone's trying to, they're trying to write a post of a story, and yet Reddit can smell through the bullshit, and no matter what way you spin this, there is no one with a single modicum of intelligence that's gonna side with you, bro. I don't understand what you think. What? Okay, and the next screenshot, the person goes on, and I feel so bad. This person is being so sweet. He's being absolutely horrendous to this person, and they're just like, no, well, I appreciate the work. I appreciate the hard work you've put into it, but I'm uncomfortable with the photo being posted, and I do not give my consent. Period. That should be all that needs. We didn't even need to get to this point. It should, hey, do I have consent? No. Stop. Full stop. Period. There is nothing more that needs to be continued from that point on. Had I, I'm assuming, known to how the photo looked prior to editing, I would have the opportunity to say I'd want it edited. I'd not want it edited, but you didn't send any photos of it besides the editing work in progress on my wig. I'm a minor, and I'm not okay with that photo being up. I never made you edit it, nor was this a paid thing. Oh, that's really interesting information. So normally I get, on a business standpoint, you want to focus, like I mentioned, on the paid stuff first, because that's your livelihood. You want to keep the paying customers happy. This wasn't paid. He went out of his way to work on these photos for whatever reason, and there's more to this. I'll get into that later on in this. But the fact that this wasn't paid, he went out of his way to put 4 to 5 hours into one single image. That was totally unnecessary, not discussed, not asked for, not consented to. Like, that's absolutely insane. So this person continues, this is not anything personal. I'm not trying to diminish your work and efforts you put in. I've communicated to you my boundary, and I asked you to respect it. Please understand. Honestly, I give, well said. Like, this person's a child, well, a minor. I'm not trying to say that derogatorily, but, like, mad respect. That full paragraph, like, they said they do not give their consent. They stated, I'm a minor, I'm not comfortable. And they proceeded to be nicer than I fucking would have. Like, this isn't personal. I hope you understand. Like, beautifully said. Nothing more needs to be, like, that's as clear as day. Like, setting the boundaries, setting the tone. Absolutely splendid. But oh no, our boy Andrew can't leave it at that. No, you can't be clapped so hard by a minor. No, we must retort as the adult, as the business offering a service, with another paragraph. Okay, so he hits them with, my previous work should be indicative of how in-depth I go into my editing. Sorry, I just feel like a voice was necessary. I'll stop. It is my signature. Holy fuck, how conceited. And you know what? If you check on his profile, he has a highlight of things he's edited. And sorry, I didn't need to use quotation marks. That was me just being petty. But, you know, everyone has the right to be proud of their work, but like there's a point when it crosses into like bragging territory. Like, what are you trying to overcompensate for? I don't know. Self pat on the back. Good for you. Let's continue. So, in a very snarky tone, as I can like imagine him saying this as he's typing, fine, I will not post this, but I caution you. By agreeing to this, I'm doing so because I believe in following a strict professional standard in my cosplay photography. Are you sure about that? Holy shit. Okay. Sorry, I could not hold that one in. Despite the fact Canadian copyright law defends my IP rights as a photographer, you know, whether or not that's true, this is just, okay, I'm sorry, I'm still like teared up from that. Holy fuck, that was hilarious. Whether or not that's true, this is still just a matter of like what should be common sense, common courtesy. You don't, when someone tells you no means no. It's that easy. What is so hard? Anyway, we're pulling out the fucking law books for this one. You won't get that from every photographer. There are a lot of creeps with cameras at cons that will be nowhere near as forthcoming with you. And I find that super ironic coming from him especially, being a creep with a camera at cons. Just like from the mountain of stories I've seen, heard, and witnessed, using that as like, so far all he's done is just threaten this person, and it's really giving the shitty breakup line, like, you know, when a girl finally wakes up and like kicks the shit guy to the curb and it's like, you're never gonna find anyone as good as me. Got a shitty villain last laugh kind of thing, you know? And it's just so pathetic, and just so predatory. You're being a creep. You're being a freak. Stop it. Stop. Hell, some of them won't even tell you who they are. If you have legitimate concerns about how your picture is taken, you either need to be much more vocal about boundaries, which includes stating you're a minor, and be prepared to give a firm no to those that asked. Oh. Way to gaslighter, bro. Oh my god. Like, it's on you as the client and as the child to tell me, the business, the service being offered to you, the adult, what your boundaries are and what's business practice should be, basically. What the fuck is wrong with you? Sorry, this isn't funny. I laugh at inappropriate times and things, but like this is just mind blowing to me. Cause like I do cosplay, I do photography, I've been doing both on either side, and this is the most absolutely unhinged malpractice crazy shit I have ever fucking seen and heard of in my life. So just to reiterate, no, it's up to you as the person conducting business, offering a service, as the adult, to create a safe space for all your clients, especially a minor. But, you know, I guess common sense is lacking these days. Yeah. So this was just one example, and I'm going to briefly talk about the next two. So there are multiple times in instances where this guy, same thing, editing photos without talking to the client at all, not asking them what they want, what they're okay with. He'll just do it and send them. And a lot of the times, the type of edits he does are very invasive. And, you know, so like editing somebody's body shape, skin, eyes, contacts, all that kind of stuff, that really, especially when a lot of people, some people like to put their own personal touch into their work. They like more natural look. But no, his goal of a photographer is to shoot everything with accuracy, and that is so dangerous because we get into so many shitty territories with that. But so especially in this regard, like, you know, you never, like, it should be common sense. Don't fucking alter someone's body in a photo. That's disgusting. That's like, you know, that's encompassing a toxic beauty standard, because he's altered chest size, he's altered waist size, hip size, he's altered skin. He also doesn't know how to edit POC skin tones. Like, yeah, like there were some very poor excuses made too when he was called out on doing that. He's like, oh well, the lighting was bad, and no, any photographer that knows their stuff, that has their salts, knows, no, that's a load of horse shit. There are settings that you have to change for skin tones. You can do it. There's editing you can do. Like, no, let's talk about the trespassing. Now, this is alleged. I'm only going off what Gosson has said himself. Boy, I don't know why you're like telling on yourself. Like, he's posted in his own stories. Here are the screenshots. You can just stroll in here now. My whole branding was sneaking into this place. Now what? What? You deliberately are saying that you sneak into private property, restricted areas to shoot photography, and you bring your clients in there. Hey, no, here's another one. You boys back at it again. Okay, sorry, I added more into that. Your boy at it again, exploring a parkade on private property to shoot locals. Like I said, let me reiterate, business malpractice, professional malpractice. What in the actual fuck are you saying? You deliberately go into private trespassing. What? And then not only that, are you like, you're telling on yourself that you're breaking a law, you're also bringing your clients into that situation with you. You know how like insane that is? Do you know trespassing charges? You could get thousands of dollars in fines, even including jail time. Granted, it's a couple of years, but like, you're putting your clients at risk of breaking a law. That's a criminal charge, by the way. And it varies depending where you are, but like, what the fuck? And the way he's making it come off is just some funny little inside joke that he does. And it's like, no, dude, that's like, I get there's like, the location is so juicy in a photography shoot, but it is not worth breaking the law and, you know, dragging ball and chain your poor little client down with you. Like, that's wild. Oh, I almost forgot. How could I forget? This genius brought in a knife from his own kitchen, a real kitchen knife, to a convention for a photo shoot. posted it on his own story. I unfortunately don't have the exact screenshot from that, but it was made aware. Everyone was made aware. Like, of course, news spreads like wildfire when, you know, shit happens at cons. It's like high school. Like, really. Rumors flying, allegations. Yeah, I don't know what lack of brain cells one would have to possess to bring an actual dangerous object to a convention, especially when they're an avid con goer for years. So you know the rules. You know there's prop check. They even do it for photographers with their kits and stuff. Like, you know, with tripods and stuff. Like, you know, you gotta be sure. You want everyone to be safe and protected. Given all that, you still choose to bring a fucking weapon, basically dangerous knife, the most obvious slicey, cutty, owie, boo boo machine ever. Like, what? What are you thinking? You're not thinking. That's absolutely insane. Regardless of your intentions for the use of it, like, you could have got a fake one. And if your editing is so high class and top tier, you could have fucking edited it into the photos. You didn't have to risk everyone's safety or right to feel comfortable and safe in a public space at a convention just because you wanted a realistic prop. I'm not, like, you can't make this shit up. He's also said things like, oh, we're just photographers. We're on the bottom of the totem pole. Cosplayers all treat us like crap. Blue, blue, woe is me. It's like, dude, respect is a two-way street. You know, like, when you give creepy vibes, people are gonna pick up on that, you know? And you treat people like they're your little playthings. Like you have every single right to photograph them how you want, edit them how you want, and post all you want. It's all about you and your little world and creating your perfect little vision of what cosplay should be. No, people can smell that a mile away. You're a rat. And yeah, we're doing a call out. I'm sorry, Gossin, but you're a fucking freak. And the way you talk about, treat people is disgusting. I'm just bringing to light these situations, and I'm calling you for what you are. So I hope you can take this and learn and not treat people like this and just understand what is fundamentally wrong with how you conduct your business. A photography practice, like, it's already a fucking hellhole in this area. Trying to get a photographer that's not a fucking creep is, like, harder than you think. I don't really have a way to end this video, but yeah, all y'all beware, be safe. If you're a creep photographer, we know who you are. Stop it. We don't want you here. Straighten yourself up. And yeah, keep cosplay safe and fun, y'all. Peace out.